Just before you watch this video, this is a trigger warning for suicide, and this does get a little bit loud. Thank you. Chapter 25, Tate's Revenge. Tate. She was here. Tater, what are you doing? Get out of here, Webster cried, running to her. Webby! Tate couldn't help but brighten up at the sight of her beloved Webster. For a moment, her eyes mirrored his for colour and wildness, and they could have been siblings for all anyone else knew. But then the darkness returned, and the sick smile came with it. When are you coming home, Webby? She asked coolly. Pleasantville is my home now, Tater. I'm not going back, Webster replied. Pleasantville won't exist very shortly, Tate frowned. Realization dawned on Webster's face. Tate was behind the destruction of the university. Tate, the girl who had followed him around like a little lost puppy, pumping him up when he'd felt down, annoying him at every opportunity, who always smiled and wanted to help the world. Why are you doing this? Maddie cried. Tate glared at her. Tater, please, I'm not going back. If you're really that upset, why don't you come to Pleasantville too? You can live with Maddie and I. Webster tried. That was too much. Tate stormed off. Tate! Oh, come on, Tater, don't be like this. Oh! Webster tried to run after her, but was cut off by a bulldozer. We have to get out of here, Webster, Maddie cried. The exit now blocked, Webster pulled Maddie towards a broken fence. That was soon blocked off by another dozer. They were trapped. Darn it, Tate! Webster tried to look for another exit. Suddenly, he felt himself being pulled up alongside Maddie. Webster, is that your Tate? Giggles asked as she lifted them to safety. Yes, it is, Webster sighed. Oh dear. Giggles dropped them outside of the fence. Wait, you're going back? Webster cried as Giggles prepared to take off again. Look, I have to try and stop them, Giggles replied. Where's Chuckles? Don't need him. Look, let me go and talk to Tate. She'll listen to me. She always did, Webster begged. Look, it's too dangerous, Giggles replied. Please, Giggles, she's not a bad person. She just needs help. Webster began to tear up. Giggles sighed. Fine, but keep out of my way, she warned. They both went back into the war zone. Webster ran off to find Tate, and Giggles resumed taking down the bulldozers. Oh, yikes! Giggles slammed her body to the ground as a large crane swung at her. Where did that come from? She rolled out of the way of a few bullets, trying to scramble to her feet. The crane swung at her again, clipping her leg as she got to her feet. Oh, darn it! She cried, trying to get away from the constant barrage. The crane was coming again for a third shot. Giggles was doomed. There was no way it was going to miss this time. She closed her eyes and prepared for the worst. A loud clang made her open her eyes. Chuckles! She cried. The armed scythes had been strong enough to deflect a crane. Look, the others are here too. What were you thinking, taking this all on yourself? Chuckles scolded her. Whatever, Giggles scowled. The Knights were busy disabling the bulldozers as Giggles had been doing, only with a little more difficulty owing to the fact that they can't fly. Giggles watched as Sonny expertly jumped from one bulldozer to the other, kicked the driver out of the cockpit, and stole the keys. No wonder Chuckles liked her better. She got up and flew around trying to find Webster. She found him trying to talk to Tate. Tater, call this off. You're going to get someone killed, he begged. Well, come home to Big Bris Vegas, Tate replied. Tate, this is ridiculous, Webster got angry. I don't love you. I can't love you. Not someone who will throw temper tantrums just because she can't get her own way. You've always been a brat, and enough's enough. Tate glared at him. I gave you everything I could. I would have followed you anywhere. You were my hero. I never asked for any of this, Webster replied. Giggles flew down and stood in front of Tate. I know how you feel, Tate. The man I love doesn't want me either, Giggles sighed. Please, call this off. It's not going to change anything. Definitely not, Webster glowered behind her. Not ever again. You let me down, and I have nothing left for you. Tate looked at Webster. Her heart shattered. He would never love her. He couldn't love her. She picked up her phone and pushed a few buttons. Soon the bulldozers had left, leaving a ruin where they had once been a proud university. Giggles hugged Tate tightly. I'm sorry, Tate. I know it hurts, but you're going to be okay. You and Webster will be brother and sister the way you were meant to be, and you'll both be happy. Tate stared blankly into space. Her eyes were dead, her body slumped. I know I'll be okay, she said hoarsely, before pushing Giggles off and walking away. Webster! Are you okay? Maddie ran over and hugged Webster. Webster kept his eyes trained on Tate, who disappeared into the dust. He began to cry. He did love Tate, just not the way she wanted him to. Now she hated him. His heart was broken too. Belle walked with Webster and Maddie to Tate's hotel room the next day, hoping to talk to her and cheer her up a little. The plan was to talk her into going home to Bris Vegas and getting some counselling. Poor Tate. Webster knocked on the door. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I know. It's not your fault, Belle replied. She thought of Charlie and Sonny and cringed. She still hadn't spoken to Charlie. In fact, he was the last person on earth she wanted to talk to. She just wanted to hide away and not see anyone ever again. Tater! It's me! Webster banged on the door. Open up! Belle, get out here now. Talk to me. I'm not going until you come out here. Belle! Charlie banged on the door of Belle's room the previous night. No way had she been getting out of that room and talking to Charlie. Tater, come on, let me in, Webster kept banging on the door. What if she's not in? Belle pointed out. She's in, Webster assured her. He grabbed the door handle and was surprised to find it unlocked. Tater, I'm coming in, Webster called out, opening the door. The room was huge and very nicely kept, decorated in blues and whites. It had a tiny little kitchenette and a massive bathroom with a huge tub. The curtains were drawn, but the room looked out onto Lake Pleasant. There was a large 4-post bed against the wall. Tate! Webster's scream would haunt Belle forever. Hanging from the top of the 4-post bed was a limp Tate. She was dead. Webster pulled her down and laid her on the bed. No, Tater, no, why? I loved you, Tate. Please don't leave me. I'm so sorry. Please don't be dead, Tate. I love you. He sobbed into her chest, holding her hand tightly in his own. Please don't leave me. Maddie had her hands over her mouth in shock. Tears began to fall from her eyes too. Belle felt cold and sick. Webster was devastated. Tate had supported him, encouraged him, helped him, and now because of him, she had taken her life. You were my baby sister, and I was supposed to look out for you. I'm so sorry, Tater. I'm so sorry, he sobbed. Webster cried through the whole funeral, Maddie holding his hand. He couldn't speak when it came time for the eulogy, and could barely hold up the coffin as he helped carry it out of the church. Belle could feel Charlie's eyes on her throughout the whole ceremony. It made her uncomfortable. He should have been doting on Sonny, not thinking about what he would have done if it had been Belle's funeral they were attending. If Belle had died fighting away the bulldozers that she had so stupidly taken on by herself. All she had to do was push the button on her watch, and they would have all been there and fought as a team. Charlie kept a firm eye on Belle. He was angry with her for nearly getting herself killed, angry with her for not talking to him, and angry at her for being jealous. It hurt him that he'd hurt her. It hurt him that she now hated him. Their friendship had now changed, and he didn't think he liked it. After the ceremony, Sonny went to speak to Belle, who was sitting near the creek. Hey, Belle. She sat down next to her. You don't need to say anything, Belle replied. Sonny sighed sadly. It's fine, Sonny, really. I'm okay, Belle quickly added. Please talk to Charlie. He misses you like crazy, Sonny said. Why would he miss me when he has you? Belle sighed. You're his best friend, Sonny protested. I know. Belle looked at Sonny. I'll get there, I promise. I'm sorry, Belle. If I had known, Sonny started. It's okay, Sonny. He wants to be with you, Belle interrupted. Sonny couldn't think of anything to say. She got up to walk away. Sonny? She turned back to look at Belle, who was standing up. I'm glad you're happy. If anyone deserves it, it's you. Belle hugged her tightly. And thank you for making Charlie happy. Sunny gripped Belle tightly. Thank you, she whispered. Besides, you're pretty much my sister, which would make Charlie my brother, Belle joked. Yeah, Sunny smiled. Well, it's nice to see you two cooperating. Charlie walked over and put his arms around both of them. I'm sorry for being a brat. Belle looked down. It's okay. Charlie hugged her closer. Belle pulled away. You are allowed to hug him, you know, Sunny joked. I'm going to go see what Dad is doing, Belle excused herself. Charlie sighed. Come on, let's go find the others and cheer her up, Sunny suggested, taking his hand. Yeah, okay then. Charlie went with Sunny, sending one last wistful look after Belle. Well, that was definitely a chapter that happened. I did not like writing that one, I remember, very much so. If you are like Tate and considering a very permanent decision, just putting it out there right now, there are people who want you alive. If you're alive, there's a chance for it to get better. So reach out. There are plenty of resources out there. I will link some in the description. Because, yeah, suicide is not something we want to lose anyone to. So, you matter, okay? And after that, I feel kind of bad asking for likes and subscriptions. So, look, you all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will, see you in the next chapter. Love, love.